my name's Chelsea and I am joining you here from Central Oregon today, and I blog over at thejohnsonsplusdog.com. And I'm so happy to be with you guys today. We are going to be making some really fun Valentine's Day crafts. So we're going to make 3 or 4 different crafts depending on how much time we end up having. So the first one we're going to do today is actually starting with a pizza box. So this is totally just trash and we're going to turn it into something really fun. So what you're going to do is just start by taking the top off of the pizza box, and these just tear off pretty easily. And this part shouldn't have any food on it or anything, and that's the only part of the box that we're going to be using. If you don't want to use a pizza box, you could use any other type of cardboard, or you could buy a wreath. What we're going to be doing is making a door hanger, so you could buy like a wreath form from the store too. So I'm just going to start by cutting. I pre-drew this heart on here with a Sharpie, so I'm just going to start by cutting this out. And like I said, we are coming from Central Oregon today, and we would love to know in the comments where you are tuning in from. And I would love to know what the weather is like. We're having a little bit of warmer weather than we've had lately, but we still have some snow on the ground. And I would love for the snow to start melting because I am so sick of it.
Looks like you got Ireland, you got Arkansas, Guatemala.
Awesome. I love these Hometalk videos because there's people from all over the world. That's really fun. So at any point during the course of the video today, be sure to just put any questions you have in the comments and we will try to get to all of them. If we don't answer them during the live, I will try to go back and read all of the comments later so we can be sure everything gets addressed. So you're going to start just by cutting it out, and then we're also going to cut out the middle because I want the middle to be hollow. So I'm just going to use an X-Acto knife here, and if you have a cutting mat, which I have, I actually don't have it in here right now, then you could use that as well. So like I said in the beginning, if you're just tuning in, my name's Chelsea and I blog at the Johnson's Plus Dog. And today we are just going to be making some Valentine's Day crafts. So we have Valentine's Day, it's just a few days away here, so we still have time to get in some fun seasonal crafts. And we're going to make a few different crafts today. Oh, that didn't quite go all the way through. So let's do that one more time. Any questions so far, or where people are tuning in from? Any other cool places?
It's like Malaysia, Chicago, I guess South Carolina.
I haven't heard anybody from the West Coast yet.
Wow, Budapest. That's crazy.
Okay, so this is starting to come off here. And we're going to cover this up for the most part, so it doesn't need to be absolutely perfect under here.
You got someone that asked, what was the story behind the wreath idea? I guess that means where you kind of came up with it.
Well, I really wanted to make a Valentine's Day wreath, and I was actually working on the wreath. I was starting to get started on it, and I knew I wanted to use a cardboard base just because they're pretty cheap. And we have a ton of cardboard, especially after the holidays. So I wanted to use cardboard, and actually someone over at Hometalk, one of the people that worked there, actually gave me the idea for the pizza box, which I thought was a great idea. So,
Cool.
Yeah, okay, so this craft, I'm going to warn you, is a super time-consuming craft. I'm just going to show you a little bit how it gets started, and then we're going to kind of fast forward. But you'll see once we get started how this craft could be really time-consuming. So if you wanted to make it a little quicker, you could also take the inside or another heart shape, a smaller shape, and use that instead, because this one's pretty big. But I wanted to make a larger one because it was going on my door. So first up, we're going to start by painting it. And we're going to paint it, we're going to cover it up with flowers, but in case any of the cardboard pokes through, so you can see it, I wanted to paint it with a red background so that you can't see. The flowers are going to be red that we're putting on here. So this is more of an optional step. I do find that it really helps make a better finished product if you have your base starting out the same color as the the flowers that you're going to put on your heart. And I am just using just regular old craft paint. This is just an acrylic paint, and these are like only $1 to buy at the store, the craft store. And that's just, you can use any type of color that's similar to the roses that you're going to be putting on. So, like I said, we're going to be putting flowers on this, and I'm going to show you how to make those here in just a sec. So as you can see, this is a pretty big area. Like I said, the wreath is pretty big. So the flowers that we're making, I'll show you how to make a few of them, but on the finished product, you'll see how many I actually need to cover this. And I ended up using 106 flowers to cover up my wreath. So it took a long time. So I'm just gonna show you how to make a few flowers. So we're gonna set this aside while it dries, come back to it. Okay, so now we're gonna work on the flowers. So this is what we're working towards. This is one of the finished products here. They're just little mini rosettes. There's a few different ways you can make these. I'm just gonna show you the one that I like the best. So you're gonna start out with just red felt. You can buy these at the store. They're like 25 cents or 50 cents a piece. Very inexpensive. They're 9 by 10 for the size, and I used about 8 of them on my wreath. So you'll wanna get a few. So you're gonna cut them down in strips. These are a 1/2 inch wide on the long side, so they're 10 inches long. I cut mine at 2 different sizes. I cut mine, some of them about 1/2 inch, and the rest about 1 inch. So these are the smaller ones, or at least the thinner ones. So I just use a hot glue gun, and what you're gonna do, I'm gonna do this twice. So what you're gonna do is just put about 1 inch of hot glue on there, and then roll it up. Okay, so that's the center of your heart. So next we're just going to basically start twisting this and wrapping it around as we glue. So I just use a dot of glue every so often. I actually need some more. Okay, so here we go.
Got some answers. Some people like to do a dinner and a movie, or make their husband a meal. Hint, hint. Or just go out to eat. But,
okay, so yeah, that's our giveaway question for today. So if you guys want to win a Hometalk tote bag, we want you to answer the question, what would you do, or what do you like to do for Valentine's Day? So we would love to know if you have any fun traditions or crafts that you make or fun things you do with your family. I know something that I used to do as a kid for both Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day. In my family, we would make colored pancakes, so with food coloring. So for St. Patrick's Day, we'd make green pancakes, and then I remember on Valentine's Day, we would make pink ones. So that was one of my fun memories from my childhood.
This girl likes to do a picnic on the beach.
Oh, that would be fun. We used to live in San Diego, so we missed the beach. I wish we still had the beach. Okay, so you can see this is coming together as we twist around. So it's starting to look like a cute little rose. And all you're gonna do to close it off, you're just gonna leave about 1 inch here. You're gonna turn around to the back side, put some hot glue, and then you just wanna take this flap and just hold it on. And this, I'm getting kind of burned, but okay. So you just kind of hold it together. And this glue, it can get kind of stringy. So there's our finished product. So I'm gonna do that one more time, just so you guys get the point, so you can do these by yourself too. And if you go to my post on Hometalk, or on my blog, which there's a link to it on my Hometalk post, I have a really shortened video of just how to do these hearts, kind of in a sped up, if you need to see it again. So like I said, you just put a little glue for the first inch, roll it together, and then you do little dots of glue and you start twisting. Obviously, you're going to need a lot of these hearts for if you want to do a wreath. But you could really do a lot of other fun projects with these. I actually saw one of my blogger friends made something similar for Christmas, and because they were red hearts, she made like a little Christmas tree she had a foam base, and she put these flowers all over it. It looked really cute on her mantle. So there are tons of ideas for ways you could use these little hearts on crafts. It doesn't need to be just a Valentine's Day thing either.
Well, this person wants to know if they look good if they're much bigger.
So I'll show you what the difference is between if I made the strips an inch wide. The bigger strips are just, they're a little thicker, and I wanted a difference in texture when I was putting my wreath together. So you'll see here in a minute what the finished product looks like. If you wanted to make them a lot bigger, you would need the strips to be longer. So you couldn't necessarily use the small felt sheets, but you can buy felt in a bigger sheet, or you could buy it, I think, by the yard. So if you wanted them to be, and you don't have to use felt either. You can use fabric, or I've done these with burlap. They're really fun with burlap.
What is it? This is felt fabric?
So this is felt, yeah.
Felt.
Okay, so there's our next one. Okay, so I'm not going to bore you by making 106 of those today because that would take up the whole show. So we're going to move on. I've got glue all over me, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward a bit here and show you what the finished product, oh, you know what, I'm just going to show you how they get attached to this. So it's really simple how you're going to attach them here is you just put hot glue and then you're just going to start filling them in. And you can make smaller ones if you have little spots that you need. You can cut them down so they're half the size. So they're only about 5.5 inches long if you cut it in half, and they'll fill in little pieces. So yeah, you'll just continue doing this. And like I said, this craft takes a long time. So I am giving you fair warning. Only do this if you have some good time on your hands. Maybe if you're watching a movie or you're doing something where you just need something to do with your hands. I know this time of year with the weather being bad, I get kind of stir crazy, so I just need stuff to work on. So this was a fun one to do one weekend for me. So this is what the finished product looks like once you get all your flowers on. And you can see there's different sizes of the flowers. These are the bigger ones. These are the smaller ones that we made. And then there's little itty bitty ones kind of tucked in on the edges and stuff, like the small ones over here. Those are like the 6-inch ones. So I really like the difference in texture. That's why I made some of them bigger and smaller. So the next thing you'd want to do after that is put a ribbon on for to hang it. And I just poked a hole in the back and tied a knot so that my ribbon, and I just used some cute Valentine's Day ribbon. It says I love you. So the next thing you would want to do is this arrow, and I'm going to show you how it's done. So the way I made that was actually with paper straws. And these are just red and white striped paper straws. I actually got these at the Dollar Tree during Christmas. I don't think they have them anymore, but you can get them online on Amazon, or they sell them at various locations. So you're going to use 2 straws for the arrow. So the first one is just going to go in the middle of your wreath right here. And to put it in, all you do is add some hot glue to each end and then just kind of tuck it in between the flowers there. So that's how you do the middle. To do each end, all you're going to do is you're going to cut your straw in half. And then we're just going to use some more felt for the pieces. And I already have these drawn on here. I just used a Sharpie to draw this on. So the back of the arrow, I just wanted to have like arrow wings. I guess you could call them, there's a word for what these things are called. I looked it up when I was doing my blog post. It's actually in the blog post, but I don't remember it now. So
People want to know what since you're using a pizza box, what does the grease, is the grease from the pizza a problem?
It's not a problem because I am only using the top of the grease, or top of the pizza box, and it doesn't have any grease on it. I actually thought of that when the lady at Hometalk gave me the idea of using a pizza box. I was actually a little concerned about that. But when I opened up my pizza box, I realized that the grease wasn't a problem. It wasn't on the top at all. So here is just the little wings. And if you scroll in here, okay. You can see that the little pieces are a little further apart. So what I did to do that is I just cut out the little strips in between there to make that. So that's how you do that. And then what you would do is you would just, again, put a little hot glue in here, nestle it in between your flowers, and then you would just hot glue this on here. So the same thing with the top. I think it's a really cute idea when you're making arrows for Valentine's Day to use a heart for the tip and just turn it upside down so that the bottom and the heart is the tip. So that's what I did. So you just cut out your heart. And there we go. And then you would just, again, glue this on here and then glue it on your wreath. So the last thing I did to really make this wreath kind of stand out and be a little different is I decided to add some lights. So what I did is I got these lights at Amazon, and I'll show you the package that they came in. So they look like this. It's a pack of 4. I got them at Amazon and it was $10, so it was very inexpensive. They are battery operated, so you don't need to worry about a cord. So I just taped this on the back, and then we're just gonna tuck these in between the flowers, and the wreath will light up. It's a really fun way just to do something different. I just wanted to kind of make this wreath really fun. So I think it looks great when the lights are on, especially if you put it on your front door. And this copper wire is actually heat resistant. So you don't need to worry about the lights getting hot and being a fire hazard, because they're actually made for crafts and stuff like this. So, and I think there's a battery time of like 20 hours or 30 hours for these. And if you wanted to switch out the battery, I think it's just a watch battery for the back. So you could just do that. So what I'm doing is this cord is really easy to bend around. So I am just kind of tucking these in between the flowers. And again, these flowers are hot glued, so they're on there pretty good. But if any of them popped off while I was doing this, I could always add a little more glue them back on. So I'm not gonna be super careful about getting this wire, but if I was gonna be a little more careful and take more time, I could do this so that you don't even see the wire if I push these down far enough. But I'm just gonna kind of do this quickly so we can move on to our other crafts today. I don't wanna bore you guys. I like to move these videos pretty quick. So just a little recap, we are making some Valentine's Day crafts today. We're just finishing up our first craft, which is a door hanger. We started with a pizza box for this. And we of course didn't make all of this during the video. This would take a lot of time, but I showed you guys how to get started. So you can make your own like this. All right, we are approaching the end here. And this, I was glad to know that this was like the exact same length that I needed. I think it's 20 inches. Okay, so here we go. So obviously if I was doing this, again, I would just be more careful about tucking those wires in, but I just wanna kind of show you what this looks like. So that's what it looks like when it's all lit up. I think it's kind of a fun little touch. I don't really see very many wreaths that are light up, so that's our first craft. Again, we started with a pizza box. We made those felt rosettes with hot glue. This is a paper straw that we cut up and glued in there. And this hanger is just a ribbon. All right, so that's our first craft. So we're gonna move on to our next one. I'm gonna turn this light off here. And again, we would love to know in the comments today where you guys are tuning in from. And then we would also love to know what you guys love to do for Valentine's Day. That's our giveaway question for today. So be sure you answer that, and you will get we'll pick one at the end, and you'll get a chance to win a Hometalk tote bag. All right, I'm just gonna move some stuff around here. All right, so the next one we are gonna make is, I think, my favorite thing I've made this season. So it is a kind of a shelf decor. You could put it on your mantle or a shelf, or you could even probably put it on the wall. And it's gonna say XOXO. So we're gonna start with doing the hearts first. So I got these heart forms at the Dollar Tree. And alternatively, you could use this as your base for a wreath too, for a door. But they're only $1. And then I also got these at the Dollar Tree. And these are just scarves. Valentine's Day print scarves. So these were $1, and we're gonna use 3 of them. So this is really simple. We're just gonna take our first scarf, and we're gonna tie it on to one of the wires here.
Where'd you get the lights again?
I got the lights on Amazon, and they came in a 4-pack for $10. They sell them at Walmart, and I think like Hobby Lobby and other stores as well. Where's the end of my scarf here? But if you go to my blog post, I have a link to the exact ones that I bought. So if you're interested where those came from. But they sell all different colors of those lights too. So if you wanted to get red or another fun color, the options are endless. All right, so all we're gonna do is we're just gonna be twisting this scarf around the wreath here. All right, so when you get to the end of your scarf, we're just gonna tie on the next one. So we're just gonna make a continual little scarf here. And I just found these scarves to be pretty cute. I loved the patterns. They have a bunch of different ones at Dollar Tree right now with different Valentine's Day patterns, and they're just, it's pretty cheap way to just make something really cute. And if you like to wear scarves, they're fun too. I don't know if you guys saw my last home talk video a few weeks ago. I did one on this table here. Actually, I think I'm gonna need to start spreading this out a little more.
You do a little slower too.
Okay, I'll move slower. Sorry, I had an extra cup of coffee today, guys.
Your wreath is going everywhere.
Okay. All right, so I don't know if you guys saw my last home talk video. I did a farmhouse tablescape. And a little trick that I like to use for all my tablescapes is I like to use scarves as a table runner. They're a pretty cheap way to make a table runner. And yeah, so that's my little tip of the day for your guys' tablescapes is to use a scarf. Most of the time I just use one that I already have. So I don't have to go out and buy something new. So we're approaching the end here, and again, I'm just wrapping this around here, and this is going to be one of our O's for our XOXO decor. Okay, so as we get to the end here, I'm just going to make sure everything's covered. We want all the wire to be covered, and I just have a little bit left here, and it ends up working out pretty perfectly if you use 3. What I'm going to do with this, and I was just going to tuck it into one of these other pieces, and it stays pretty good. I actually already did this once for my post, and then I took it apart and did it again for you guys today. So there we go. So that's our first one. So you could do, if you wanted to just do this twice, you could. I wanted to try something else for my other O, so I just did something else. So I used the same heart form. That's from the Dollar Tree. It's only $1. And here's my tape. And they have burlap ribbon in their craft section at the Dollar Tree. So I got 2 rolls of that, and they have fun colors. So I got some red. I thought that was perfect for Valentine's Day. So we're just gonna do kind of the same thing that we did with the scarf, but we're gonna do it with this wire ribbon, or with the burlap ribbon. And I'm just gonna use Scotch tape. So I'm just gonna wrap it around to anchor it, and just use a little Scotch tape to keep it in place. The reason I'm choosing to do tape is because I want this to be temporary. I like to make a lot of my seasonal crafts temporary, because if I wanted to take this ribbon off and do something else for 4th of July or even next Christmas, I could do that. I'm not wasting this, because usually by the time next year rolls around, I'm ready to try something new. So I don't really like to, I like to change things up. So I like to make, especially my temporary, like Valentine's Day stuff, I like to make it as temporary as possible. So this can be taken apart when I'm done with it.
Got some more answers to questions. Some grandparents like to make heart-shaped cookies with their grandkids.
Oh, that's fun.
A lot of people like to say they're just going to stay in because everyone else is going out to eat.
That's what we usually do.
Yeah. Not bad.
Nice. Yeah, I would love to know what you guys love to do on Valentine's Day. If you have any fun traditions you could share with us. I love learning about other people's, what they do in their families and their fun traditions. All right, so I am just continuing to wrap this burlap ribbon around this heart form. And as I approach the tip of the heart here, you just kind of keep wrapping. It's pretty easy. Okay, so we're getting to the end here. So we need one more. So I'm just gonna get more Scotch tape and just tape this together so it just carries into my next burlap ribbon. So I used 2 rolls, and I think it's in my blog post, but I'm pretty sure these rolls are 20 feet long, maybe 16 feet actually. That sounds 16 sounds better. I think they're 16 feet long, so you could make your own if you wanted to cut up the burlap. This is about 3 inches wide, and you would need about 2 of these. So And if you didn't want to use burlap ribbon, you could use another type of large, wide Valentine's Day type ribbon. They sell a bunch of really fun ribbon at the Dollar Tree where I got the rest of this stuff. So they had a lot of different types of ribbon available for their Valentine's Day stuff. I thought it was really cute. But I love burlap. I like the rustic look of burlap. I don't know if you guys, did anybody see the Hometalk live video? I think it was yesterday. I watched it last night of the lady that made a burlap table runner. She used burlap as her table runner and she painted hearts on it. It was really cute. If you guys like burlap and you're looking for a good Valentine's Day decoration for your table, I would go ahead and look that up on Hometalk's Facebook page. Okay, so we're approaching the end here and I just need to make sure I have all the wire covered here. I'm just gonna, there we go. I could probably spread this out and better in some places. Okay, so again, for the end of this one, you could either do your Scotch tape, or if there's a good place for you just to tuck it in, I would just recommend doing that. It stays pretty, I've had mine set up for a few weeks and it stayed by just tucking it. So that's our other heart. And as you can see, the burlap ribbon kind of starts to fray when you work with it, but I just think that kind of adds to the rustic part of it. So here are our two O's, so now we need to make our X's. So this is where it gets fun. So if you guys follow me on my blog or know me in person, you probably know that I love pallet wood. We've made a ton of stuff in our house with pallet wood. I mean, my husband has made a lot of stuff in our house with pallet wood, and our bed is made out of pallet wood. Our entertainment center is. So if you come to our house, you would see a lot of reclaimed wood. So these pieces of wood are just from a pallet that we took apart, and these are cut at 15 inches long. So if you are having trouble getting pallet wood, you could buy new wood if you want. You could have it painted or stained or whatever. I really like the rustic nature, so we just chose to use. So what I'm doing is I'm just gonna tie this in the shape of an X, and these will be our X's for our XOXO. I am using just some twine. This is like red and white decorative ribbon. This came from TJ Maxx. I think I got this as a gift from someone. So you could really use any type of twine. I just thought this one kind of worked for the thing that we were doing. So what you're doing, you just want to wrap this around here. Oh, there we go. All right, so you want to start off by getting the X shape that you want. I think that looks about good. And you want to tie a knot to hold it in place. Oops. Okay. So I'm going to start by just tying a knot here. All right, and then it's pretty sturdy already. But I'm just going to secure it by wrapping this twine around a few times. So I'm just going to go one way, and then I'm going to switch it up, and I'm going to do it this.
Go from the back.
This way, yeah. There we go. All right, so that is pretty sturdy. There we go. So if you probably end up with about 6 inches here, and then I just like to just tie it onto one of my other strings here. And again, this can be untied and reused for another project after Valentine's Day. So again, this one's really temporary, but it's a super fun. But it looks really good on a mantle. So there's our X. So
okay. A couple people want to know your blog, and then they want to know where else to get pallet wood.
Yeah, definitely. So my blog is the Johnsons Plus Dog, and Hometalk will probably put a link to it here in the comments, so you can access it. And a good place to get pallet wood. So we have gotten it, we go on Craigslist free a lot. We actually were just on there right before this video, and someone was giving away 20 pallets. So you just need to go pick them up. So that's where we've gotten a lot of pallets. You can also look outside of grocery stores and Ace Hardware. Those type of stores usually have pallets in the back. You definitely want to go in and ask them if you can take them first. You can't just take them because they may be using them for something. But if you go in, usually they don't mind you taking them off their hands. The best way to take apart pallets we've found is there is a thing called the Pallet Buster, and you can buy it on Amazon, and it's this little device that you can stick in the pallet and kind of pry it open. It's like a big crowbar. That works a little bit, but they're pretty time consuming and they can be hard to take apart. My husband knows. He's done most of it.
Home Depot takes them apart and sells them now too.
Yeah, they do. Home Depot, they sell them. I don't think they sell it in stores, but I have seen it online. They sell the deconstructed pallets where you can just buy the wood if you wanted to go that route. But the thing I love about pallet wood is that it's free. So most of the time it's free. So it's a little sweat equity to take them apart so you use it. So that's our XOXO. So again, we started with pallet wood, tied them in X's. We covered the heart wreaths this was covered with 3 scarves from the Dollar Tree, and this was covered with 2 rolls of the burlap ribbon from the Dollar Tree. So this project, all in all, cost $8. That's it. So it's a really fun one. So I'm just going to set that back here so you can kind of see how it looks when it's sitting up. And it kind of, there we go.
They kind of need each other.
Whoop. And I used some other things to kind of hold it in place too. And if you wanted to put this on the wall, you could do it with command strips too to hold it in place. So that's what it looks like up on a shelf or your mantle. Look cute.
Okay.
All right, so we are going to keep moving. We have another craft to go through. So let me get my supplies for it. One sec here. All right, so this Valentine's Day craft is a really fun gift. And I envision this to be a great gift for a teacher or a coach or someone that you would need to give like a cute Valentine's Day gift. This is a really fun one to do with kids too. So if you guys have kids and you're looking for something that they can make for someone. So I know some of you mentioned you have grandkids, so this would be a fun one to make with them as a gift for their mom or something for Valentine's Day. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna start with a mini terracotta pot. And again, all the supplies here today that we're using for this craft are from the Dollar Tree. So, except for the paint, they don't sell paint. So we're just gonna start by painting our little terracotta pot. And I chose white. You could choose another color if you wanted. Pink or red. You could use the same red we used for the wreath. You really only need to do 1 coat on these terracotta pots. It covers it up pretty well. And again, I think he just showed you the bottle, but I am using a craft paint. This is just an acrylic, really cheap. You can use whatever paint you have on hand, really. So, and I always use these foam brushes. I actually just sent my husband to the store right before this video to grab a bunch more. So these are great brushes for craft projects. So any more good ideas of what people like to do for Valentine's Day for a giveaway question?
Some people like to not celebrate it.
Okay, I like that.
I think I like it more than you do.
Yeah. I don't think we'd probably celebrate it if you had your choice. I like to decorate seasonally in our house, so because I like to switch things out. So seasonal decorations are a great way if you kind of get tired of decorations because they only last so long. Okay, so I'm not going to paint the top because we're actually going to be covering that up with something else. So I'm just going to leave that. All right, so you can see this paint dries really quick. So I'm just going to set it aside while we continue. It'll be dried in like a minute or two. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some styrofoam for the bottom of for inside the terracotta pot. And this styrofoam is just some leftover from some shipment I had. I just grabbed it. If you don't have styrofoam, you could grab some from the Dollar Tree. They make it there. So I just want enough to go to the base here. So
while you're doing that, people want to know where you got your shelves and what type of brush you're using.
Brush for the paintbrush?
Yep.
Okay, the paintbrush, I just used a foam brush, and you can actually see they come in a big package. He got this at you got this at Joann's like an hour ago, and this was I think $5 for 25. So they're really inexpensive. I use them for a lot of my crafts just because I tend to always forget about my paintbrushes after I make my craft, and then they get ruined. So those are really cheap. And then my shelves was the other question. Is that my shelves, the coffee bar?
Yeah, those shelves.
Okay, so these shelves were from Target. They come in a pack for all of these shelves, and then that as well was from Target. And then the signs, the coffee bar signs, are from Hobby Lobby. So, all right, so we put a little styrofoam in here, and actually, this is the wrong pot. Let's go to our white one here. So that's where we're gonna put the styrofoam. All right, so before we get going on the inside, let's decorate the outside of this pot. So I'm just gonna use some Valentine's Day ribbon, and we're gonna put it on the outskirts or the top of this here. And you can use hot glue. Since I already have my hot glue gun, I'm just gonna use it because it's right here. There's another type of glue that I use on most of my craft projects. It's called 3-in-1 glue. And if you go to my blog post on this, I use that for this portion of it. I actually probably would recommend it because it's a little easier to work with. Okay, so the 3-in-1 glue is a little, it doesn't set up right away. It gives you a good like 30 seconds to kind of move things around. So I like it better than hot glue normally, and it won't burn you. So, but hot glue works. I like hot glue too. All right, so that kind of decorates the top, and we're just gonna cut the excess off here. All right, so that is the top of that. And then we are going to decorate the sides. And this is table scatter from the Dollar Tree. It's just glitter hearts, and the hearts come in 2 different sizes here. And I am just going to apply the hearts around the outside here, outside of the pot. Just decorate it up a little. So just use a little hot glue and stick it on there. And I'm gonna do all red on this one. But you could, on the one that I've already made for my post, I alternated colors. So, if you didn't have access to this glitter table scatter, you could use like I have a heart punch for a paper punch. You could use that too. You could just cut out some hearts, some paper, and glue that on here. Or you could use some more ribbon on this and just tie some more ribbon around it. Or you could paint on some hearts. Oh goodness, the options are endless. Like I said, this would be a really fun one for kids. It's really easy you don't have to, if you're not comfortable with your kids using the hot glue, you could use, like I said, the other type of glue. So, okay, so there's our cute little pot. It's all decorated up. So next we're gonna work on the inside. So we're just gonna put my little styrofoam piece in here. And next we're gonna use some heart picks, or heart stems. I think they're heart picks is what they're called. So I got these, again, at the Dollar Tree. So they come 7 for $1. So each of these were $1, and we're gonna use 3 of them in this. So with all the supplies that I'm buying, you could make 3 of these for the craft. So they ends up being about $2 for one of these. So it's a cheap little craft. All right, so what I'm gonna do, these are a little too tall for what we're doing, so I just wanna cut these down a little bit, and this wood breaks really easily. So you can just do it by hand. And then you're just gonna start by putting your sticks in here. And I did 3 different heart picks at varying heights. So this one's actually already cut down a little bit. So I'm gonna cut it down just a little bit. So I like the 3 different kind of heights for the picks.
People want to know how fast the 3-in-1 glue dries.
That dries, I usually hold stuff in place for about 30 seconds or so, and then it's pretty much set, and it's waterproof. It's a really great glue. I've tried a lot of different glues. My mom actually, she is a crafter, and she taught me about that glue, so I use it for everything. All right, sorry, I was just kind of seeing where I want to cut my next piece at. I want this one to be a little bit shorter. All right, so we've got, I'm gonna use 3 of them. Okay, so there we go. So my styrofoam's kind of moving around a little bit, so I'm just gonna, I didn't make it wide enough, so I'm just gonna put another little piece in there to kind of hold it steady. All right, I can't really see from the front. Is that looking good? I think this bottom one needs to come up just a little. Okay.
Yeah, looks good.
So there we go. So there's our 3 hearts. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I just wanted to put a little message on this. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you how I I've never had to do like calligraphy or writing on demand, so if I mess up, I have one already done here. So I just took a little piece of red scrapbook paper. I cut it. This is about 3/4 of an inch by like 4 inches. And we're gonna make a little flag to go on one of these hearts. So the saying that I chose to do for this is let love grow. And I think it's just a fun little play on words because there is little hearts growing in this flower pot. And here, let me turn around.
It's okay.
Is that better?
Yeah, you're left-handed.
Yeah, I know. So, by the way, the pen that I'm using is a Zig Writer pen, and I love these pens. They come with a small end and a larger end. It's about the size of a Sharpie. You can get these at Michael's or any type of craft store. So the way I do my kind of fake calligraphy is I write out everything in cursive, and I try to keep the cursive kind of loose, like the letters kind of spread a little further than I normally would. Okay.
Where do you get the 3-in-1 glue?
I get the 3-in-1 glue usually at Joann's, but that's just because it's closest to my house. They sell it at Walmart, Michael's, any craft store. I've got it on Amazon before too. So the next part of our lettering is we're just gonna make the downstrokes of each letter thicker. So, oops, I just did that wrong.
That's okay.
Oh no, that is right. Yeah, that would be our downstroke, sorry. Okay, so each time that you would be putting the pen down, you would want that part to be the thicker part. So if you've ever done calligraphy, you would know this, but this is just a really easy way to kind of fake it if you don't have calligraphy. Or if you're like me and you're left-handed, calligraphy is actually really hard. I bought calligraphy stuff last year, and I've been trying it, and it's really hard when you're left-handed, so I've all but given up on real calligraphy.
Alicia says hi from Australia.
Oh, wow. Hello, Alicia. Okay.
We're gonna have to show the pizza box craft again.
Okay,
the title is very misleading.
We will do a quick recap on all the crafts here in a minute. We're almost done. Okay, so that is our fake calligraphy. Let love grow. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna notch out this little flag so it looks more like a flag here. Okay, so last but not least, we're just gonna put this, and I actually, on the one I made before, I attached it to the top one. I don't think that's gonna work. I think I want it on the front one here, just like that. So I'm gonna use this, I don't know if this 3-in-1 glue, it's kind of running out. I may need to use hot glue because it's not, I usually keep this in a little jar upside down so the glue's at the bottom, but I didn't do that. So we're just gonna use some hot glue here. Usually I don't use hot glue on paper, by the way. I would recommend another type of crafting glue, but it works. Okay, so you just kind of wrap that around the stem, and there you go, let love grow. All right, so you may be wondering about this styrofoam down at the bottom. You definitely want to cover it up. So the quickest way that I found to do this was just with some tissue paper. And then again, this comes from the Dollar Tree, and I just cut out like some strips of tissue paper. And you could do this with paper, or they sell like crinkle paper for packing supplies. You could do it with that too. So you just kind of shove it in there, and it kind of covers everything up. So I'm gonna probably use a couple of those.
Some people were wondering why you don't glue the styrofoam in to keep it stable.
That's a good idea. I never really thought about it. Again, I usually like to make my crafts pretty temporary, but this one, I mean, since we painted it and glued the outside, you probably wouldn't be reusing this pot for anything else. So you could totally glue the bottom of the styrofoam to keep it a little more sturdy, especially if you have some kids that are going to be toting this to their classroom to give to their teacher or something. You probably want to make it a little more sturdy for them. All right, so there we have it. So this is a cute little craft. Again, this costs like $2. I bought six different supplies from the Dollar Tree for this, and you can make at least three of them for this craft. So $6 or $2 for each craft. So that's our third craft for today. and we're kind of running out of time, but I wanted to show you, I'm making a garland, or I made a garland for Valentine's Day, and I wanted to kind of show you how I did it. We won't make the whole thing, but I just want to show you how to make a cute tassel garland. And I really love tassels, and I love making garlands for birthday parties and, you know, baby showers and all sorts of type of things. So we're just going to do this real quick at the end here, now that we have a few minutes left. Okay, so this is our last craft of the day, and it's going to go really quick. So we've got tissue paper, and I got this at the Dollar Tree. This is just some fun Valentine's Day tissue paper. And to make our tassels for the garland, we're just going to fold this in half. And if you wanted to make a garland that was going to be used for something that you need a little bit longer, say you wanted it up in your kids' room or something, I would probably recommend using something a little more durable than tissue paper, like some fabric, but same concept would apply. So I folded in half 2 times. So next, I am going to start cutting, and I'm going to start cutting my tassels here. And you just want to fringe. I do the tassels about a ½ an inch wide or so, and they don't have to be perfect. So as we're wrapping up here, let's hear the rest of your guys' ideas for what you guys like to do for Valentine's Day. So we need to pick a winner for our giveaway. So any more ideas here, pop them in the comments, and in the next few minutes we're gonna pick our winner, and you will win a Hometalk tote bag.
Some people like to decorate on Valentine's Day and then take the family out.
That's fun.
Again, then it's just more eating in.
Yeah.
Or eating out, spending time with loved ones. Movies.
Movies.
Some
I
people
love
go
movies.
to movies.
Going to the movies. Yeah, I bet they're pretty crowded on Valentine's Day. I don't think I've ever been to the movies on Valentine's Day. Speaking of being to the movies, we haven't been to the movies in a long time.
That's because they're too expensive.
Yeah, they're pretty expensive, and we have a 9-month-old, so getting away to the movies is not the easiest thing.
Yeah, that's right. It's his fault.
Okay, so bear with me because this looks really cool when we're done. I just need to finish making the last few cuts here. And again, this does not need to be, I know we're using Valentine's Day tissue paper here, but you can make these any sort of color or pattern to make them for any type of holiday or a birthday party. These are really versatile. So when you get to the end here, when it's folded, you just kind of want to cut on the fold mark. Okay. All right, so then we're just going to unfold everything here.
This girl orders a heart-shaped pizza from somewhere.
What? That is really cool.
I wonder if anybody in town does that.
Yeah, we should look into that. I think you could probably make a heart-shaped pizza too. We love making pizza. We get our pizza dough from Trader Joe's. They have the best pizza dough in the world. And then you could totally put it in the shape of a heart. So what I did is I just cut this in half. And usually I cut it in half before I unfold it, but I forgot. All right, so we're just gonna put one of these together. So this is gonna be our tassel. So if you have a pattern like we do, you wanna be sure the pattern is on the back side right now, because we're looking at the inside. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna roll this up. And as you're rolling, you just kind of want to make sure your fringe isn't getting tangled on the edges. Okay. All right. Okay. So there we go. We're done rolling. And the next step is just to twist. And you just twist the middle. Okay.
Oh, Papa John's has the heart-shaped pizza.
Oh, Papa John's. Oh, we have one of those here.
Oh, and Papa Murphy's. This person says they take take Valentine's cards they make and go to like a nursing home.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that idea. Spreading the love on Valentine's Day. Okay. So as you can see, we just kind of twisted it up and then we twirled it into just a circle here at the top. So the next thing we're going to want to do, and I'm just going to use our hot glue because it's warmed up, You just want to, just a little dab of hot glue just to hold that in place. So that's our tassel. And you can see how this comes together and looks really fun when there's lots of them. I'm just going to show you. I'm going to fast forward. Whoops. So here's a bunch more that I made last night. And then here's some string that we're going to put them on. And this string comes in a 3-pack from the Dollar Tree. So, and this is pink, comes in some multiple colors. So what you're going to do is you're just going to string this together. And I like to alternate the different colors here. All right, so your last chance here, last couple minutes of the video, and the giveaway question for today is, what do you like to do for Valentine's Day? So I'm gonna pick a winner here any minute. So hang on here. We're putting our last craft together today. We have done some fun Valentine's Day crafts, and we're gonna do a quick recap here in a minute. All right, so we have one extra pink. That's just because I have the other one over there that I haven't made of the pattern. So you can see how that kind of comes together, and it makes a super cute decoration for your window. We actually have one in our living room up on the window with another little garland that says "Be Mine." So really fun idea. If you wanted these to stay in a certain spot on the, you could just tie a knot around it so that it stays put. So that's how you make a super easy tissue paper tassel garland. So I'm going to do a quick recap of all the crafts that we did today. We did a few different Valentine's Day crafts. So we started with a pizza box. I don't know where the scraps in my pizza box are, but we turned the pizza box into this beautiful wreath. And this wreath is was made with felt rosettes. And we made a few of these. We obviously didn't make this whole thing during the video. This takes a long time. So we made the felt rosettes. There is a video on my blog post for this on how to make these felt rosettes. They're really simple to make. This arrow is just made with a paper straw. We cut it in half for the ends. And then we attach some lights here for just a little fun dramatic effect. And those lights are from Amazon. So that's how we went from a pizza box to something fun for your door for Valentine's Day. The second craft we made is behind me, and that's this XOXO. It looks great on a mantle or a shelf or this coffee bar like I have. We used pallet wood for the X's and tied together with some string. For the hearts, we made like a wire. We had a wire wreath form from the Dollar Tree. And this is burlap ribbon, and these are actually scarves. And we put 3 scarves on that and 2 burlap ribbons on that. And our last craft we did was this cute little terracotta. I call it my little pot of hearts. And this was just used with the terracotta, and we decorated it, put some little heart picks, and said, "Let love grow." So that was this is a really fun decoration or gift for a teacher. And then we made our tassel garland last. So those were all of our Valentine's Day crafts that we did today. So I need to pick a winner. So I think the winner I'm going to go with is the person who said that they make heart-shaped cookies with their grandkids. Because I think that's super fun, and I think we may actually end up doing that this weekend. That would be fun to make some heart-shaped cookies and decorate them. So whoever said that, Hometalk will be reaching out to you directly to give you your giveaway prize, which is a Hometalk tote bag. So, last but not least, be sure to hit the subscribe button when you end, and you will be notified every time that Hometalk goes live. They go live every day, Monday through Friday, twice a day. So, once again, my name is Chelsea. I blog at the Johnson's Plus Dog, and I would love to have you guys visit my blog or find me on Facebook. I'd love to connect with you guys and do some more crafts. So, thanks everyone. Have a great Valentine's Day.